Good morning. I just started on my vlog right now. We're trying to understand what's the difference between lamb chop and pork chop. When it comes to lamb chop and pork chop, either way, you don't know the difference between Food Network. I just got out of Food Network, and in Food Network, they have been doing a good amount of time of using what does the lamb chop and pork chop do for a living. When it comes down to chop in inside the Enterprise and Food Network, we're trying to understand what does the meaning of crickets. When it comes down to crickets, there's another way of using what is the meaning of lamb chops and pork chops. Crickets is the person who understand what is the sports of crickets. There are times that crickets can be very vulnerable of using what crickets is. And when it comes to the entrepreneur, the crickets contain a lot of protein. When it comes down to slugs and frog legs, they're considered as a lot of proteins inside the lamb chops and pork chops. As the lamb chops and pork chops, they're more focused on what is um, what is the entrepreneur of the meaning of restaurant. This is my first time doing owning a restaurant, but when it comes down to owning a restaurant, it's very difficult to understand the meaning of a design. Sometimes the design relates to getting to know um, getting to know the restaurant. Sometimes they understand the meaning of vintage or designers. When it comes down to vintage and designers, I don't know the difference between pork chops and lamb chops, because when it comes to southern states, they're more focused on either biscuit and gravy, mashed potatoes, or any southern states. When it comes down to a particular person, they don't understand what's the meaning of the meaning of you know fried chicken. He that particular person understand the meaning of a French fry, not the French fries, because he's from another country, and NRI called. He understand what does fashion means, but when it comes down to fashion, he only understand a bacon, not some bacon. So bacon is probably bad for the NRI, because I've been doing NRI for a while, and when it comes down to inventory inter inventory clerk, they did call me several times for the manufacturing job. This is my first time doing companies, but that particular person been doing Kimco. Kimco is the agency that worked for overtime. So when it comes down to overtime, he refused to let me down when it comes down to wetlands. When it comes down to wetlands, he said he's taking over the Kimco agency. So when it comes down to Kimco agency, he said he's taking over the NRI, because there was particular person who is not an engineer, who is understanding what engineer does. So NRI is the only person who called me for inventory clerk. When it comes to inventory clerk, it's very emotional for me, because it's not what I wanted to do because without any respect of NRI, there's no inventory clerk. He was very demanding. He was complaining about the agency. He said that I don't understand the bathroom. We're trying to understand what bathroom is, and he refused to understand the pipeline inside the bathroom. So this might be a problem with hydrology and hydraulics, because hydrology and hydraulics would be my system to figure out what does social media. He said he understand what does social media does for a living. So he taking over the human resources. As for human resources, he did complain about one musician who lives in Compton. And when it comes down to Compton, it doesn't mean that he's complaining. He refused to look at that particular person. So it was pretty harsh of saying the word human resources and hydrology and hydraulics. So I'm taking over the solid waste, liquid waste, and waste management. As for that person, he doesn't understand what waste management is, but he's taking over the liquid and solid waste. I did the design of what liquid waste and waste management, liquid waste and solid waste management. But as for that person, he said he doesn't understand what is the pipeline. So he ended up doing nothing without the pipeline. There is no pipeline inside the restaurant. And also there is no pipeline inside the Kimco agency. I believe that he doesn't understand human resources. So when it comes down to human resources, he's taking over the Kimco agency. So hopefully I'll get a job on the 13th, which is called Husserman Refrigeration. So hopefully I'll get a job on the 13th. So that will be completed my solid waste and liquid management. Because as for the Kimco, it was very embarrassing saying that I can't pee. You pee too much, or it's something very emotional that it doesn't belong to the sensitivity of mine, because I've been working so hard for the manufacturing and manufacturing the pipeline that I do respect. And as the hours that I'm taking off of the agency, NRI did say something about inventory clerk. I've been doing inventory clerk, but when it comes down to reserving clerk and shipping clerk, he refused to look at my data, because when it comes to overtime, he said he is refused to the pipeline of the bathroom. So there is no pipeline inside the Kimco agency. He said he's gonna do it, and anyways, that will be underneath the gutter of the concrete. So hopefully he's doing well of the pipeline. So good luck to me to understand what is agency is, and what is company is.